Hello, everybody. Today is the 24th of April. No, actually, the 23rd of April. And as always, we're going to tell the pain story. This pain story has changed a lot of people's lives. It shed light into why something happened to our life and how we can create or manifest our dream life in a very certain way. So, are you ready? Let's get started, okay? What is this? It's a pen. What do we use a pen for? To write? Now there's a dog inside the room. I'm gonna read this in front of the dog. What does the dog do? The dog probably will sniff, lick, or chew the slate. Does the dog see this one as a pen? No. So for the dog, this one is not a pen, but for the human, this one is a pen. So who is correct? The dog or the human? The answer is both are correct. For the dog, this one is a chewing toy, right? Both are correct. So for the dog, this one is a chewing toy, right? And for the human, this one is the pen to write. So the dog is correct in the dog world, and the human is also correct in the human world. So that is our first lesson. Both are correct. Now let's imagine that there is a table in front of me, so I'm going to put this thing on the table. And then both the dog and I will walk out of the room. So inside the room, there'll be no human, no dog. What does this thing become? Is it still a pen or chewing toy? It becomes almost nothing at the end. So we still call this one as the emptiness. The emptiness is actually a very magical definition. As we understand the emptiness, we'll be able to achieve anything in our life. Just like Yushin Michael Roche applied the emptiness into space, that I was able to build business with a revenue $250 million a year. He's also able to help serve refugees. So what is the emptiness? Why is that so magical? Let's go back to the pen story, okay? This tiny colony on the table where there's no human, no dog, or nothing to interact with. It comes back to true self, we call it the emptiness. So the emptiness is not blackness, it's not darkness, nothingness, or no feeling, no thinking. The emptiness is just the self when it doesn't interact with anyone. So we, whether we are human, animal, or plant, or object, we all possess the emptiness. And then in reality, almost all the time we will interact with someone or something, right? So we have the potential of become like anything or anyone depending on who or that, who or what is looking at us at that moment. So what do I mean by that? So for instance, come back to the pen story, okay? So when I come back and I look at this, this become a pen. When the dog comes back and the dog looks at it, this becomes a chewing toy. And when both the dog and I come back to the room at the very same time, we both look at this at the very same time, what does this thing become? Or a single thing that it becomes two things. A pen for me and a chewing toy for the dog at the very moment. Right? So that is the magical of the potential. And this is also our second lesson. Along with the emptiness, we all have limitless potential. Now, I see this as a pen. So does this pen coming from me or does this pen coming from the thing itself? This pen is actually coming from me. Why am I so certain? Because if this thing is a pen itself, then the dog or anything in this entire universe will have to see it for what it is, which is a pen. But does the dog see this one as a pen? No. So this pen is actually coming from me. This pen is actually coming from my mind, and everything is actually coming from our mind. So that is our third lesson. Everything is actually coming from our mind. Now we all agree that this pen is coming from my mind, right? So I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to believe this will become diamond. Okay, so please pray with me. Diamond, 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 open your eyes. It's your pen. So what in my mind that forced me to see this as a pen but not a diamond? They all see it inside our mind that the ancient wisdom calls karma. When we see something, the seed inside our mind pop up, open up and cover this and made us see it for what had been planted only into our mind. So who planted a seed into our mind then? Only you can plant the seed into your mind, and only I can plant the seed into your mind. How can we do it? We do it by three ways: by our words, by our actions, by our thoughts, especially to other people. So for instance, I'm going to hold on to this. I'm going to say that I have a pen. Would you like to have this pen? And when my friend say yes, please, I'll be so happy to give this to my friend with the hope that I can help my friend. When I give this pump open up and both me and my friend will see it, we strongly remark in my mind. A couple days later, when I see this, I recognize this one as a pen, which means that the seed of the pen is all being planted into my mind. and then open up and cover this and made it seed for what have been planted early into our mind, seeds in pen. And this is how a pen become a pen, and things around us become what and who they are to us. In the pen story, there are several meaningful lessons. Today we will learn 4 different lessons. The first lesson is both are corrupt, so we learn to respect each other's opinion. We learn to respect each other's choices, and we learn to listen to each other with a compassionate heart. And that is also the secret of happiness in any kind of relationship, because in the end of the day, in all kind of relationship, we all long for to be listened to be understood, and to be respected. And I think in order for us to do that, it's easy to say and to understand it, of course. But in order for us to do that, we have to really take into account the other person's perspective. And sometimes it's difficult though. So what we do, what I try to do nowadays, that take a step back and then just take a deep breath and react slower, taking a little bit of time before I react to anything. And I'm still in the processing, in the process of practicing that habit. And I do hope that by telling this pen story every single day, that will just kind of reinforce into me what the lesson and then what I should do. So that's the first lesson. The second lesson is, along with the emptiness, we all have immense potential. So trust your potential, trust the potential of everything around you, and trust the potential whatever happened to you. And I think this lesson is also very, very important, because I think it gives you the clarity and the optimism. What do I mean by that? So, when you understand the emptiness, which is, what it truly is, what the piece is truly, even when it doesn't interact with someone, then you know what it truly is, then you'll be able to, would you be able to see what it is, and then what it meant to you, and whether you want it to be a good thing or a bad thing, right? So that's the potential that you look into, the optimism that I'm talking about. So one thing is that there's a couple of things that I will listen to. The couple of things is that first, everything is just 10% of whatever that happened to you is only 10% of what it truly is, with is the emptiness. And 90% is how you react to it. And this is linked to lesson number 3. I'll tell you later. But then it's also, I think 90% of that is also how you look at it. Whether it's a good thing, it's a bad thing, it's all the way you look at it and you react to that potential that you are looking at, right? So one tip I like to give myself is that, whatever happened to me at this very moment is the best thing that happened to me. And I think that is this actually really, really helped me to cope with things better, to see things in a brighter lens, and then be able to react to things better, respond instead of react, but respond to things in a more positive way. So the third lesson, is how you react to it, right? 90% that. So that is the third lesson. Everything is actually coming from the city inside our mind. So be 100% responsible to whatever happened to us. We don't plan anything, because in the end, we are the only one who can plan this into our mind, using our words, our actions, our thoughts with other people. And this lesson is actually very, very important. It's also linked to the second lesson, is that, remember, so everything that happened to you is only 10% of what it truly is, and the 90% is how you react to it. So when you take, responsibility into your own hand, you also know, you also have the ultimate power of changing your life, into any direction that you want it to be. And I think that is a very powerful perspective, to be able to see that you are the one who in charge of your life. And the fourth, but also very important lesson, is how we can create or manifest our dream life in a very certain way. So first, you have to know what you truly want in your dream life, using lesson number 2, the emptiness and the potential. And then, we start planting those using our word of action and thoughts with other people. Like for instance, if we want to have a happiness, then we use our word of action and thought, helping other people to be happier, if we want to have a prosperity using our words of passion, and that's helping other people to be more prosperous. And just like that, whatever that you want, making sure you use your word and passion with that to other people. And the lesson that I would like to share with you all today is that, today when I came, so I tried to listen to my birthday pain story on the bus every day. And when I came in, I saw that wow, there's a boom in his view. One of the video that they were posting there 67 views. And I've been noticing the trend actually increasing for the past couple of weeks. And I do believe that is how YouTube, like by him being very consistent and disciplined with his posting on each and almost every single day a video clip. So YouTube will kind of boost it because it's also like in any kind of platform, if you become consistent, if you're being disciplined, then they will kind of boost you because you are an active user, right? So I think that really helped to increase his visibility with all the YouTube viewers. And that is also something that something that I really enjoy to be able to monitor to see the growth of his channel. Also to know that the pen lesson is able to reach to a wider audience and give them enough perspective of how life is, how we be able to judge of our life, how we be able to see different things with different lenses, as well as be able to have a good relationship in your life. I think those are very important lessons. And it's all incorporated into the pain story for lesson. And I learned as with almost 3 years, no, with more than 3 years of telling the pen story, he kind of mastered of it. And his pen story, even though it's the same thing, but it changes. Each day will be a little bit different. I think that is really interesting. So I really admire him for being able to be that disciplined and to get the result today. I'm sure that by with time, because we still have like 7 more thousand days to go, right? But if we keep being consistent like that, the range will be even wider. The effect will be even more pronounced, and then it will help a lot of people and help themselves as well. So that is the result of discipline and consistent, I believe so. The consistency. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to me today. Thank you, everyone, for coming with me in the 3,000-day journey. And if I may share with you the pen story of my lesson is something good, I would like to dedicate that to my dearest family, to my friends, to my co-workers, to my clients, to my neighbors, or to any living things in this world and the other world as well. Wisdom and gratitude. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day, everyone.